And what does the book say behind Angela? So, the Redditor u-Fozzle proposed something over on the Rehearsal subreddit, and I figured we'd run through it, read his theory, and add our own conspiracies on top of it. He wondered, is this show an ARG? And we're gonna see if there's any credence to that. Before we get started, please leave a like and subscribe, it helps the channel a lot, and you can always unsubscribe at a later date if you don't like what I'm posting, it's completely free. Also, I hope the sound quality is better on this episode. This guy in the comments helped me out on how to fix the mic, so hopefully it's an improvement. Anyway, showtime folks.
It's showtime, folks.
After the airing of episode 5, Angela posted a video where she spoke about the show and about the scenes with fake Angela. She came across as a lot more real in this one than she did in the previous video, where she came across as pretty rude and ignorant. These videos are meant to remind us that Angela is human, not just another character. What was it that Nathan said about these people? When you assume what others think, maybe all you're doing is turning them into a character that only exists in your mind. Maybe him saying that is a bluff to distract us away from this ARG, who knows? Now let's go over to her Instagram, where the oldest post is March 18th, 2022. That also links to her blog, which barely has any updates, and the oldest post is in September of 2021. Now, we know that the Rehearsal has been filming since before the pandemic, because the first episode was shot before it. So Nathan has had plenty of time to sit around doing nothing. He could have spent his lockdown making blogs and Instagram accounts for actors, preparing for an ARG. Fozzle points out the dates of all these accounts and claims that real people often have longer digital trails. One of the theories after the second episode aired claimed that Robin was fake, a character played by an actor, but this was disproven because his brother had had an active Twitter account since before Nathan was even famous. There's no way he had planned that far in advance. So to see that Angela has a very recent social media history is interesting. Could it be because social media is run by the devil? The Redditor then brings our attention to a post on Angela's blog titled Breadcrumbs, New Beginnings. New beginnings, we've heard that before. Robin described the number 88 as meaning new beginnings. Maybe the number 88 is relevant to this. Breadcrumbs can also be a synonym for clues. The clues we're meant to see for this ARG. Then we have the video of her dancing in the post. The moral that she is dancing in front of reads, "This is an interactive, augmented reality experience," which is basically what an ARG is. The song is also by Real People, which sort of alludes to the thematic of the show being full of actors. Real people. Also the term real could be seen as meaning a reel of film, commenting on how the people in the show are all actors. Works of fiction, they're characters. Works of fiction made for our entertainment. The reason why Fozzle began this investigation is because he found Angela's reaction to be unbelievable. She's clearly not the most intelligent of people. I mean, she believes that EMF rays are harmful and that rubbing lavender oil on the soles of a child's feet would do anything. Maybe she's just every bit the moron we expect her to be, hence the unusual reaction. Fozzle went on to point out how the comments on her Instagram are highly suspicious. Most of the comments come from accounts with very few followers and their comments are poorly written, almost as if they are bots. Could Nathan have botted this fake account to make Angela look like a real person? We've seen people buy followers before. There's also this Instagram post that could be read into. It reads, "How are we going to do it? Step by step. There are levels to this." Could she be talking about how the show was set up in ARG and is encouraging people to figure it out step by step? Maybe. Fozzle sort of went off the deep end then with a conspiracy where he claimed that the mural behind her in the blog doesn't match what is posted online, but upon further inspection discards this theory. They do look pretty similar, so I don't exactly know what he was seeing there, but I guess when you look for clues hard enough you start seeing stuff there isn't there. After running out of leads with Angela, Fozzle jumped over to Cheap Chick in the City.
She's been mostly a freelance writer, and she has a blog, gives information about things you could do to save money and have fun.
What's the blog called?
Cheap Chick in the City.
Cheap Chick in the City?
Cheap Chick in the City.
There, he found a link in the navigation bar to a specific Cheap Things to Do article from 2019. It's about cheap things to do on a very specific date, Tuesday, October 29th, 2019. He found this bizarre. That's someone whose whole hobby is to maintain this blog and post these regular updates every week, would just have this article for one specific date for 3 years ago. So what happened on Tuesday, October 29th, 2019 that we need to be looking at? If this is an ARG? Well, if we were to take Robin's obsession with numbers as a clue, then that date was the 302nd day of the year, and there were 63 days left in 2019. So do 302 or 63 have any relevance? Tuesday, October 29th was also National Cat Day. Should we be looking at Nathan and his cats? Did anyone else notice how they were absent for most of the show? They were gone so long I made a fool out of myself on the last video talking about how there weren't any pets in the house. They made an appearance in episode 5, but other than that, they hadn't been seen since he packed them up there in episode 2. In episode 5 at 16:46, when Nathan is studying with Adam in the basement, there's a silvery brown tabby and automatic cat feeder there. And then a bit later, when reviewing the Angela not taking it seriously footage, a cat walks by. So they're definitely still around, but I don't know, should we be looking into the cats? Trump also went to the World Series on that day and left early because the entire crowd booed him and chanted "lock him up." Or maybe the article is just stuck in the navigation menu by accident. Surely it's not on purpose. Besides, why would you try and detract attention away from the blog? You need people to stay on there as long as possible. You don't see me saying, after you watch this video, go and watch something else. Actually, I do that a lot, don't I? Feels like I can't go an entire video without recommending a TV show for you all to go and watch. Fozzle gave up here, so I figured we could take the ball and run with it. Let's look at the video from earlier. In the background is a book. And what do the words on the book say? That's right. He set the captive free. Now this video featured Angela talking about finally being free of the rehearsal, so the inclusion of this book seems purposeful. If we were to take the date from Cheap Chick in the City as meaningful, and we're meant to look at Tuesday, October 29th, 2019, and how Trump went to the World Series on that day and left early, because the entire crowd booed him and chanted "lock him up." Maybe there's a connection there. The theme of being locked up, held captive. They're repeating. Probably just a coincidence, but still. The book itself is real. It's about demonic forces, and there's an entire chapter in there dedicated to oranges. Here's a brief clip from the audiobook.
If you Googled the term, how to know if an orange has gone bad, the results will likely be full of statements regarding the rottenness of its peel. But what if I told you that the orange fruit has deep connections with satanic culture?
Also, Hitblog's logline is, "Do you want to get well?" What thing do we know helps people get well? That's right, the urine of the guy's grandson from the gas station. And what is an anagram of grandson P? Endangers, if you ignore the S. Yeah, I'm just messing with you, there's nothing there. If you ignore the S, isn't that just every? But there's an anagram of that. Personally, I think that Angela is not an actress. She's playing it up for the camera, sure, but as someone pointed out over on Reddit, she doesn't realise what show she's on. I don't think Nathan For You fans really watch the type of reality shows she watches. I think she thinks she's on E! Or The Bachelor, that kind of show, which is why she's leaning heavily into the drama and the dumb act. Credit to the Redditor who thought of that originally. What's his username? Let's see. Done This Girl. Is that really his username? Sounds like what a caveman would say lying to his friends in school. Anyway, that's all for this video. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You can always unsubscribe at a late date if you don't like what I'm posting. It's cool. Hopefully the mic quality has been a bit better this episode. Let me know. If not, I can get a new one. It's fine. Alright, bye folks.